but definitely, man, this is a list of my own machinations, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm already getting some pushback on this list. This is a list in my own household. In my own household, I already got some pushback on this list, right? I'm just going to tell you guys that right now. So this list has already got a little bit of controversy on it, but I'm going to run with this list, and I'm going to tell you why I put this list together. All right, this is my list of just straight up villains, man. Like the villains, the most villainous of villains, and why I classify them there. And not only being that, but these are villains that I think are going to survive the test of time. And when I say survive the test of time, I mean that these are mythic level villains. We will talk about these villains. These villains will influence storytelling, movies, shows for decades. Some of them have already been doing it, right? And we're going to kind of point to why I think they're so culturally relevant. And this will be kind of a time capsule thing, right? Greatest villains of all time. This will be kind of a time capsule thing because I'd love to go back in like 3 years or 4 years and see how accurate I was if these villains are getting repeated. Okay, so when you look at these villains right here, obviously these aren't just your run-of-the-mill villains. Every one of them is here for a very specific reason. I didn't just throw these guys out here, willy-nilly. The whole point was not only are they villains, but it's also what type of villainy were these guys going to put out, and like how scary. And so I measure their villainy by their relevance, right? Like, because like I started putting this list together, and I was looking at some villains. I just looked at some top villains, right? And they had some villains on there that I'm like, yeah, okay. Darth Vader isn't a villain to me. I'm just being really honest. Like, Darth Vader, you kind of a joke to me. I ain't really worrying about Darth Vader in the hood. I'm worried about Darth Vader in the sub. I'm not worried about Darth Vader. And really, you were kind of like, anyway, I'll talk about him. I may do like false villainy afterwards, right? Like dudes who were fake villains who weren't really about that life. Okay. So the first guy up to bat here, and I think this is a mythic level villain. I think we will talk about this guy in the future. And this is, of course, Homelander. So like right now, obviously I'm into the boys right now. And Homelander is obviously front and center. The actor, now let's talk about Homelander, right? This guy kind of fits this corrupted savior. And that's not why he makes the list, okay? He makes the list because Homelander represents right here, right now, better than everybody else. So every other villain. These villains are making this list because of their cultural impact, right? Cultural relevance. He bottles up so many things. So he represents celebrity worship. He represents a layer of toxic nationalism, corporate control, unchecked power. He lives for adoration. They're measured by likes and Q ratings and nonsense like that. He believes he's above morality. He uses fear as a manipulation control. The guy has a major God complex, right? Like when we talk about a God complex in the future, I think he will influence how other writers, creators, storytellers come about talking about God complex and power, and combine that with this massive insecurity from a child who had really been beaten down. This is the complexity of who Homelander is. And when I say that he represents right here, right now, culturally he does. There's so many things, especially in the TV version. The comic book version is a little different. It's a little different, but I think he portrays the same kind of feeling. But the show, man, this is all about where we live at. This is how we watch movies. This is how we follow fandom. This is all those things. For me, it hits some areas too, because these goddamn corporations are out of control. And we've been telling the story of evil corporations. So the whole corporate influence isn't even a new one. Okay. If we go and we watch, the Alien series, of course, that's about corporate corruptions at the highest level. They are at the height of corporate, the whole Resident Evil, all those shows are corporate corruption, right? Corporate. I don't give a about none of y'all. Okay. He's different because of how weaponized he is. I know, like, the T-Virus is very weaponized. T-Virus didn't have a personality. T-Virus wouldn't really be mad at you, right? T-Virus wouldn't look at you and be like, I mean, it probably is looking at you like, I'm gonna get your ass, right? But we don't know it. T-Virus ain't said nothing to me, and it gets everybody. Whereas Homelander, it's personal, man. He's gonna fly down, and he's gonna talk, and he's gonna know if you're scared, and he's reading you the full time. Like, he really gets into, like, understanding how people, you know, rhythm and bodies work. And so he crams a lot of that, or all that in. Like, Homelander is like the boss of being the evil boss. That's just what it is, okay? Now, what also makes him absolutely terrifying is that he mixes religion in this bad boy, particularly in this season. So you get this form of toxic masculinity. I mean, not toxic masculinity, corporate corruption. You mix it with, like, mixed signals from, you know, in this case, the Christian right. I'm not pointing the Christian right. I'm saying there people are leveraging your belief systems for insidious purposes, is what I'm saying. And I think, because I don't think that they're representing Christians in the story, but I think they're representing something that's happening under the guise of being a Christian, right? So this is kind of what we're seeing with this dude, right? So this dude represents a lot of corruption on a whole nother level, right? And here's the thing with Homelander, right? He's an abused child. Yet he's still, like, the character, he remains kind of charismatic. He remains, to some people are genuinely charmed by Homelander. Some people love the fuck out of Homelander, right? That's 100% true. Most of it's fear, but yeah, he's 100% there, okay? I think what carries the weight of Homelander, what really makes it powerful, is the actor, right? And, like, the actor, Anthony Starr, who I had to learn this guy's name and watch the show for like 5 years, and I had to really start giving him his props. Anthony Starr, let me holler your name and give you a shout out, because his acting, the way he's into the story, he makes it a whole different story. He 100% makes this thing a completely different story through his acting, or sells it. The facial tics, he goes emotionally from one thing to the next, like that. Like, he's instant from, like, yeah, okay, everything's cool, to I'm killing you. He can go from that without a visible sign. Like, you have to really watch his details. So brilliantly acted, I think, really adds a lot. But I think that, you know, Homelander's a character that we'll see emulated. I think he's gone past, he started off as being this, like, what if Superman was a narcissist? And it's gone so much further than what if Superman was a narcissist. It's no longer that. It is not that comparison. We're looking at a completely different type of character, right? We're looking at, like, medical research. We're looking at, like, narcissism, like craziness, like torture. This guy's been tortured, right? And the way that he conveys this, I think he is going to leave a mark. Like, man, this actor, as an actor, you about to blow up, man. I don't know if they just had you under contract. You just want to finish that because you about to blow up after this, right? Everybody's gonna be what, because this is absolute brilliance on the, and I think we're gonna see in each of these, and I'm gonna break down how sinister the actors behind this stuff were, right? Like, that's truth to be said, right? So he's sitting at the top of the list because he represents so much of culture. Like, we can all identify with all the stuff that's going on. We all identify with the marketing. Like, I grew up, man, where they made whole cartoons just to sell a cereal, okay? So this is where we grew up, and so we can understand vibe. Like, and the people who wrote that understood that component. That's kind of the deep part. They probably were, you know, maybe my Gen X, or, you know, maybe boomers who understood how corporations were always trying to get that money from them through kids, right? And this fits right in. I could see this happening, man. I can really see this happening if they could actually make heroes, right? If they can make suits, okay? Now, the next guy up on the list, man, is no small feat. And, you know, we're talking about Alonzo Harris, right? Alonzo Harris, played brilliantly by Denzel Washington, right? And this is why this character is particularly insidious, because what he does is he embodies police corruption. And that's one of the scariest things in the world, because he breaks down our civic trust. We don't trust that if you know this dude's rolling around here, I'm telling you, after I saw this movie, I was looking out for 82 Cutlass, right? I was looking out for any 82 Cutlasses because he was so like down. And for it to be, I'm going to talk about the performance separately. I'm going to talk about what Zale did separately. I got to get to that. But don't think I'm going to gloss over his performance in this because it's epic. And he deserved, I think he got an Academy Award for this, right? I think he did. I'll have to check on that. But the character itself was charismatic and intelligent. He exploits the system. He is ruthless, right? He destroys lives while wearing the badge. He preys on the vulnerable. He does this. And the thing about it, he preys on everybody, really. Like, he preys on everybody. The thing about it was that, man, sometimes, like, he's a tough character. He's not a tough character, right? He's not a tough character, right? When he went to the hood, and, look, the hood is what it is. But all the people that live there aren't bad. You get what I'm saying? Like, he made it hard for people who lived in the area. Like, we saw what he was doing. Like, it's tough to judge people. Again, it's a larger conversation, but I think we're forced to have it because of what he does. Yes, he is exploiting people who cannot go to the police, but that's kind of worse. Like, how do we expect people to no longer live those lives, right? Like, again, I'm telling you guys, I do believe in second chances. I believe that, okay, I believe in holding people accountable, but I do believe that you're supposed to have a path to redemption. Some of the best stories in the world are about redemption, right? Like, the guy who lost going to win it, right? Like, straightening your shit out, right? Manning up. I believe in that story, right? Alonzo robs everyone of that at all levels. He really deeply wounds that story for a large community. How he set Jake up was that was pure ice. That was pure ice the way he set Jake up, man. Because Jake was just like, I'm a good person. Literally. I'm a good person. I actually care about this community. I'm a family man. And I'm going to go and set you up day one. I don't even know you. I just targeted you to get set up for this murder. I was going to tie you and I got you high. All that stuff. And Jake in himself becomes a lesson, right? Like, the lesson that, because Jake wanted this position so bad, and of course it's abuse of power, man. He Weinsteined him, man. He got Weinstein, man, right? Like, it wasn't a physical Weinsteining, but he Weinsteined you, man. He held this carrot up there. He knew you wanted so bad that you'll do anything. And that's what Jake fell into, right? He diddied you, man. You got diddied, right? So he's particularly insidious, right? We see how he plays the system, and you're like, man, like, what happened here? Did being in the system corrupt you? Because he said at some point, to catch the wolf, you got to be the wolf. And I think we get that. To understand these guys, right, you kind of got to be within that wolf. I totally get that. If you told me, like, hey, we want you to start doing some drug investigation and catching people, I'd be like, what? I can probably give you a number to my weed, man. And I'm not going to do that. But other than that, like, how do you figure out this lifestyle and this culture without being in? So, and I'm not sure what actual cops have to say. I'm not sure what actual law enforcement would have to say about it. But maybe, all right? Maybe. I think there's two sides to law enforcement. Elliot Ness didn't need to become a criminal, right? So, like, Elliot Ness wasn't a hero, wasn't a criminal to be a hero. So that part, I don't know. But it creates some interesting conversations when you look at what he's dealing with, what culture is throwing at him, and how Alonzo went about it. But for anybody who lived in the hood, this is a terrifying figure. It's a terrifying figure because how close it is to reality, okay? This is why it's particular to the way he played that character. And again, I am not going to sit up here and say cops are bad. I refuse to do that. My mother worked in law enforcement, so I'm not going to go there. But we have sometimes bad actors who take on roles like this, and it becomes particularly problematic. It becomes particularly problematic when you got that badge on, right? And just a real life occurrence of it is, I'm not going to speak about other issues, but like, the cop in Houston, the Ashley Gonzalez, I believe it is, her words mean nothing. It is free expression until we find out that you got a badge and you about to go out here and do this. Now, everybody's heart has to tighten up a little bit, okay? So this is what these guys do. They break down our civic trust, right? Which a lot of people say, why do you have civic trust in the first place? Well, we're supposed to, which is why we're trying to have it, right? We do want to live in communities where the cops are out here helping people out and protecting us. We want that, all of us. I don't care if you live in a hood. The people who live in a hood, they don't want to be in a lawless environment. Maybe you don't have a lot of money to go buy a house in a nice area. That doesn't mean you want to live around people robbing and stealing. And I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying that some of the cultural, mechanisms of that place facilitates that. We know that, right? But those people deserve to be protected as well, even from their neighbors in some places, right? Like, we know that. He violates all that, right? He violates all that, okay? And there's a scene, like the scene where he's like harassing Macy Gray and her nephew or whatever, where you can see the look on that boy's face, right? If you go back and watch that, it's early, let's say it's like in the first like 40 minutes of the movie. You see that look on his face, this interaction. And it's powerful because you can see what he's doing to influence future generations, right? So it's no joke what he does, okay? Now, getting to the performance by Denzel Washington, who's had a long career of excellence in acting. This character for him, he really brought this character to life. He gave him a new flavor. So he does a lot of lifting. He does. His acting carries this because I tell you, when I went, I'm like, okay, about to go see a movie. And Denzel, right? And I'm not expecting this, right? I don't know if I hadn't read about it. I was probably like, yeah, Denzel got a movie. They say it's hot. It's Antoine Fuqua directed. It's Ethan Hawke. I'm like, okay. Like, that lined up, right? Eva Mendes, right? Who else? It's like, was it Carradine? I'm not sure if it was Carradine. But you had enough, profile actors that are like, I'm gonna go and mess with this movie. Snoop, at the time, I liked Snoop. I don't now. I'll never mess with Snoop again. But that lined up to go see this movie. Not expecting Zell, that's what I call him. I just call him Zell, right? Not expecting him to drop this performance, which is among his best performances. I think he has done better work, right? I still look at what was it? Man, it wasn't a Soldier Story. Soldier Story, actually, I don't think he had a big enough role in that to get the real props, but man, he killed it in that. And then Glory. Was it Glory? Yeah, it's Glory, right? With Morgan Freeman. He killed it in that too. But this one was like so socially impactful, right? That it really resonates to right now, right? So I got to give him props on creating like an ultimate villain that I think is going to be an enduring character. I think people will talk about those characters in storytelling, and I think we're already kind of starting to see some of that stuff. So he's definitely locked in at the list, okay? Now, the next one I got to talk about here is Mary Lee Johnson from the movie Precious, right? And she plays the mother in Precious. And let me tell you something about this lady here, right? This is one of the most powerful performances I have ever witnessed in my life, okay? I did not know that Monique had that type of ability. All the accolades that she got are well-deserved for this role. She absolutely killed it. This role is terrifying if you're a child because she preys, again, on the most vulnerable that you could get. Absolutely the most vulnerable, right? A person who's born into this world who is already at a disadvantage because of her skin tone, because of her gender. And then probably as a reaction to this, a lot of times kids who go through, that type of abuse, sexual abuse, tend to be larger in size. Sometimes it's a defense mechanism. Not in all cases, okay? We're not saying that, okay? And let's give a shout out to Gabrielle Sidibe, who was amazing at setting us up for Precious. This villain doesn't get to have that power without Precious, right? So she's a counter. These two characters are ultimately linked. Where the other two guys, they don't really need an opposite. They are preying on any and everybody. They're so wide. But she was uniquely tied to Gabrielle Sidibe's character, and she does a significantly powerful job. And this is why. Because for a lot of people, what she represents is a terror, right? This is generational trauma. This is emotional abuse. This is destruction of innocence. From the giddy up, man. Most of us kind of get a pass until you can start walking and doing stuff. Not this child. I mean like the worst type of abuse, right? You get that. And there's some powerful lines that she delivers, okay? So she is emotionally and verbally abusive. She takes her pain and directly reflects it on her child. So she has a weird like hate, like I hate you. I kind of want to say that I love you. Like I think she knows I'm supposed to love you. I'm supposed to protect you, but I hate you so much, and it just drips. Like she's like, I'm gonna kill this girl, right? And so for anyone who's suffered under an abusive parent, she's hitting on the foundational core of it, right? This breaks the spirit of a human being. What we see in this movie is the destruction of a person, right? It's very powerfully done. And again, without her brilliant performance, this was a combined performance carried by Monique. Like she did her damn thing. No questions about that. And I don't know if you got a bad attitude, like everybody's saying, but I believe you should be getting all kinds of roles in Hollywood. That should have catapulted you to the top based on the performance. Maybe the performance was keeping you out of it. Maybe people were like, damn, I don't want to work with her. She's scaring the hell out of me, right? So that's what we get from this character. And I think when people start talking about generational trauma, I think we will see this character be more mythologized. We will see her have an impact larger than this film because of what she represents, because of the sexual assault, because of the abuse, because of the physical abuse, the deconstruction. I think she launched off looking at a specific archetype in a whole new way. I think she said it. I mean, because this is like if you watch this movie, right, and you go back and watch Mommy Dearest, you're like, man, I wouldn't even trip off of I'll live with Mommy Dearest. Yeah, okay, you want me to scrub these floors? I got it, Moms. I got you. This was Mommy Dearest's role for a long time. Faye Dunaway had this locked up as like the worst mom of all time. That was Faye Dunaway, right? I'm gonna see if I can find. Let me see if I can find an image of Faye Dunaway here, right? Because prior to this, right, like she was the lock. She was the let's see, Mommy Dearest. Yeah, man. This is 1981, man, and I'm gonna tell you, man, like, woo, she's a beast, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Let me see if I can grab this image for you guys real quick. Quit yapping about it all the time, right? Like, shut up and get the damn image so I can see. And this is a movie, I would say, check this movie out. If you haven't seen it, this is some classic Hollywood. So if you consider yourself like a movie buff, like Hollywood buff, like, yeah, you would definitely, like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Back in my day, man, going to film school, I sound like that old dude off The Simpsons. Back in my day. But surreal and for real, like, she is at the highest point of the bad mom. This is it for a really, really long time. Where are you at, Myth Lab? Okay, Myth Lab. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Okay, we're gonna get this right? We're gonna get this right. Okay, where are you at here? Okay, Faye Dunaway. And, this is a story of, what the hell did that go, right? Oh, come on now. Come on. Where are you at? Did I not save this? Faye. Yeah, okay, where you at? What the hell? Okay, I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's really weird. Okay, god damn, that's weird. Okay. This was like the standard bearer since 1981, right? This is Faye Dunaway, and I think who's she playing? I forgot, right? Oh, Joan Crawford. Okay. So this is particularly, again, she was portraying a real life figure in Joan Crawford, who was a very famous actress. So another famous actress playing another famous actress. And she's brilliant. And she did beat these kids' asses. So she was terrifying for those particular children. If you lived in that house, it had to be rough. Okay? But I'm gonna be real right now. Precious would have took every single drop of that and come out well adjusted and be like, shit, I love Mommy Dearest. Mommy Dearest could have adopted any of us and we'd have been cool with it. Like, yeah, you ain't no worse than my actual mama. I'm just being real, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like Faye Dunaway, like, This wasn't. It was. I'd like to see it in what the character represented. And again, brilliantly acted by some great actresses, right? Faye Dunaway, and I think she did win an Academy Award for this one. I'd have to check on that. But she was the standard bearer, right? This is like somebody taking over for MJ, right? For Jordan, this is somebody finally surpassing Michael Jordan as arguably the greatest of all time. And this is where this character actually sits at. She is at that level. I think she's mythic. I think she redefines this archetype. Look how pissed she is. She's the most pissed off. Like, out of everybody here, she's the scariest one. Here's the thing. She would beat Hannibal Lecter's ass. Like, physically, she'd mop him, she'd mop her, and then she starts getting into some trouble with these guys. But she's easily able to take out half this list on her own, right? Just in mad and power and what she's willing to do, okay? So that character is definitively locked in on my list, okay? Then we get to Nurse Ratched. Now, Nurse Ratched has a long history, and what she really personified, of course, from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Now, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, again, for you film types, right, especially the young ones, this is one of the most brilliant films because of the acting. I mean, you got Jack Nicholson in this, who's like the mainliner. You got Danny DeVito in this. Christopher Lloyd is in this. There's like a whole host of epic actors in this movie, right? All working together. And it is insane. Well, they're literally in an insane asylum. But it's an epic performance. And what she personalizes, she personifies, is institutional control, manipulation, and the destruction of human freedom. Right? She robs them of that. Remember what she does to Jack Nicholson. I'm not going to tell you, like, you need to watch this film and understand, like, what she does to him. She has control through rules and fear and uses the medical industry, the medical belief system to destroy a person. Literally. Someone who wasn't even crazy. His problem was that he thought he could fake crazy and go to the insane asylum instead of going to regular jail. You should have just went to jail and learned how to fight. Right? Like, at the end of the day, either stop doing crime if you can't do that time, because this was worse. And because she's cruel, she's personal, and she hides it under care. She's clean. She looks the part, right? Like, and we all know about the mean nurse. I'm not gonna lie. Like, nurses, if you listen, you guys have two stereotypes, okay? Either you are super hot and yes to whatever you say, or you're cruel and mean like this. That's it. There ain't no middle ground, okay? You're either cruel and hot, you're hot and nice, or you're evil. Nurse Ratched takes that one. She is the barometer for that for all time, right? So we know this. And it sticks to our society. In fact, there was a whole series. I think it was, let me see if I can find this, because there's a whole series. There's a whole series based on that character. I don't know if it's called Nurse Ratched. Let's see. I gotta find this here. What was the name of the Nurse Ratched based TV series recently? I don't know if I finished the series, but it's off the hook, man. I'm telling you, this is off the hook. I think the actress is Sarah Paulson. And the series is called Ratched, okay? Ratched. Talk about Ratched City. This was 2020. This is on Netflix. And it's Sarah Paulson who is playing Nurse Ratched. Can you find me an image of Sarah Paulson as Mildred Ratched? And that's the whole thing. You're in it. And Mildred Ratched, man, like, you know, Sarah Paulson is another one of those actresses who I think will look back on her career and really appreciate what she did, you know, in like 10 years from now. I don't know if we're ever going to appreciate Sarah Paulson in real time, because this is kind of the character. Now, I'm going to go deep with this one, right? And I think this is why they did Nurse Ratched for her. Let me bring this image up for you guys here. Okay. Let me bring this one. If I can. Again, my image is going to act a little crazy here. I'm going to find PC's running slow or something. But so many images here. Let me see where you at. Why are you never? Oh God. Okay. just not updating here. So I don't know what the hell's going on. Right? Let me see if I can load this again. Okay. And let me see. Oh. Now I can't type either very well. I don't type very well, by the way, guys. Okay, so she plays this, and let me show you. So this is Sarah Paulson, who is just like, she's off the hook, and I think this is why she fit this so well. Let me see if I can get this other image for you guys. I know it'll take forever, but I want to see if I can. Sarah Paulson in Unbreakable. Can you find images of that for me? And this is why this matters. Now, you guys probably saw this. This is another M. Night Shyamalan film, and again, like great. It's another M. Night Shyamalan film. In a long list of terrible M. Night Shyamalan films. Not that this one's terrible. This probably is his best actual film. But I'm just gonna be honest, man. Most of your stuff is just terrible. Like you set up something really good, and it gets all kooky at the end of it, man. Like I'm just being really, really honest with you. I don't want to watch any more of your movies. I'm not gonna watch. Like this one suckered me in, and like I said, this is pretty good, right? This is actually pretty good. You know, this whole entire role that she plays here is great in the Unbreakable series. So she's kind of showing us the mental makeup of Nurse Ratched. So you know, again, the original Nurse Ratched. Who played the original? I just want to give this lady her props. Who was the actress who plays the original Nurse Ratched, and what else was she in? Now, this lady, I know I've seen her. I think she might be the same lady who played in Flowers in the Attic, right? And if you have, again, back in my day, right, Louise Fletcher, Firestarter, Cruel Intentions, Shameless, she was in Star Trek, Flowers in the Attic, I am correct. Can you pull up an image of her playing Nurse Ratched, please, in the movie? She's moved into like straight up being iconic, and Sarah Paulson really captures it in this role here in Unbreakable, right? But then and I think that's why that would have inspired her to be in the next one, right? Or to get the next series based out of it, right? Let's save this for here because I want to spend a little time talking about this actress here who just did an incredible job. Like, I mean, if you saw, and again, you know, I don't know what it means when you can play someone just absolutely an ass, right? Like just carrying the worst type of traits, right? And it's this actress here, and we've seen her, and what's her name? Let's see who she is. Louise Fletcher again is the name, and you can see she's fully Nurse Ratched, very precise, very clean. Like you know, she looks the part, but you know, the white uniform, the calm voice, you know, and she becomes an ultimate authority. She's an ultimate authority and use it just again to just absolutely destroy people. And if you watch, if you go and check out Flowers in the Attic, of course, was a novel that becomes a book. And man, like, whew, the mean grandmama, she got mean grandmama down as well. So again, some important archetypes I think culturally that we've seen being repeated like over and over again, and just unerring. Now, the last one I'm going to talk about here is probably, I'm going to argue, probably the most recognizable, and it's Hannibal Lecter. It's Hannibal Lecter, and I'm going to explain why. Okay, this is not just corrupted intellect. Hannibal Lecter was. That's not why he's the worst villain to me. He's not. He was the worst villain because he was eating people. That's it. I don't even have to go much further than you were eating people, right? So if you're eating people, you scare me because this guy brings up images of Jeffrey Dahmer. Right? This is what he's not scaring me. I'm not like, oh, it's a doctor and he's scary. He is monstrous because you eat people, and that happens in real life. We've seen a lot of people eating people. Far too many. Right? We could go Ed Gein, right? We could go obviously our man, not my man, maybe yours. Jeffrey Dahmer, real life, and particularly scary for me. Now, both these characters represent some things culturally. Distrust of the medical institution and being eaten. Dr. Lecter, or through Dahmer, I think he sets us up for why we would fear this type of person, calculating, planning things out, setting traps. And then we see Jeffrey Dahmer, who I'm not saying was on that level of intelligence, but operated along those ways and preyed on a particular complexion. I don't know if the meat was tender. I don't know if he was like, y'all look like you or a Snickers bar or whatever it was, but we know who he was preying on. So that's what makes him particularly terrifying for a community where people go missing all the time, right? This is where they prey. This is where Dahmer preys at. So right now, man, again, I left some really good characters off of this list, and maybe I'll go back and lick it. So do it again, or look at it again. But I wanted to hit you guys up with these. I'm going to drop it in there. I'm going to drop the artwork so you guys can argue about it on your own. But give me your thoughts in the comment section on who you agree with, who you don't agree with. I know you guys are going to have your say, right, into who was really bad and why they weren't. But this is my fundamental list. This is my top 5 right now that I'm sticking with for now, right? I'm telling you, there's some guys, some notables I know that need to be on this list, right? I know this, right? Joffrey doesn't make the list because he's not. I'm not afraid of Joffrey, right? I'm not really afraid of Joffrey. I'm not really afraid of Cersei, right? So there's a couple of things. There's a couple of things that make these guys more culturally relevant, and I'm going to talk about some real people that I think are going to set some villain archetypes going down the road, and how we'll talk about them as well. So I wanted to drop it in. Thanks for stopping in the Myth Lab. Go check out the channel. Appreciate the support. I'll be back a little bit later because I got another idea I'm going to have to get out to you guys today, and I don't want to sit on it. So for everyone who stopped in, I'm going to drop out of TikTok right now, and I'm out, or now I'm out. And I'll be back later on to drop you guys a little bit more mythology and another